hi. Hey. Hi. Veda. Hi, Veda. Welcome to the team.
So there's 109 people on there right now.
Let's start for you already, so please sit down and hold on.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody so that we have a nice quiet line. Richard, can you say something so I know I didn't mute you?
Come on, stop. Morning, Dad.
Perfect. All right, everybody, I just want to introduce you to Richard Neal. And I've got to tell you, the first time I saw Richard was on the Beachbody Summit stage, and he was sharing his story as I sat with one of my coaches who've gotten to know him over the year. And we both sat holding hands and crying, feeling all inspired. And oh my gosh, we were so overjoyed when we heard your name being called as the $100,000 Beachbody Grand Prize winner. I felt like I won when I saw that.
I can't tell you what that means to me, because I got the energy of everyone. It was astounding to me. But, because what really matters to me was all the people that I got to share it with. So, but I was definitely honored to be the Beachbody Challenge winner for sure, because it definitely opened up a lot of doors for me to be able to share my love with the world.
Well, I was, when I went to see what exactly, I was trying to remember, you weighed 426 pounds at one time?
Yes, I did.
Wow. And then you won at 184 pounds. So.
Yeah, that's the 242 pounds, 18 months. My last weigh-in was 184. Well, most people are saying I would have to agree. That got a little too skinny because, if a good gust of wind would have blew me, it would have blew me over, so.
Yeah, that's true.
For body duty, is how I say.
Yeah. Body Beast is fun. I like that one. Well, I do have a bunch of people who wanted to ask questions, and I'm going to read a few of the questions, and then I'm going to let you guys know that all you have to do is push 5-star to ask a question live on the call. If you're too shy to ask, you can just go ahead and go to the event page and type it in. I'm going to be watching the event page the whole time. So, like I said, 5-star. And it will raise your hand, and I'll see that you're asking a question, and I'll unmute you. And then if you just want me to ask the question on the call, then you just go right ahead and write it on the wall. So one of the questions was, what workouts did you do?
When I first started, I started out with P90X, not P90X, I actually started with Power 90 when I was 426 pounds. And then, of course, I lost my first 45 within the first 30 days. And I went in, and I was like, all right, I'm ready for P90X. And my coach, Jeff, he was like, I'm not sure, but I'm going to test you. So I went over to his house, and we done chest, shoulder, tries, and ab rip reps, and I felt like I was going to die. And but then it was like, all right on. So I figured we just might as well go ahead and get that party started. And I started with P90X, and then with the modification. Over time, I've done it like 7 times, I think. And, of course, joining the Fit Club, doing the, workouts like Insanity and then Insanity Asylum and, things like that. So I just kind of, the P90X was my bread and butter.
Yeah, I love P90X too. That was mine. So another question was, what was your biggest challenge to overcome?
And then
my biggest challenge to overcome was obviously, was myself, because like everybody else in the world, you have all these thoughts, and you have all these fears, and you have all, like, oh my God, I'm afraid that I'm going to overeat, or I'm afraid that I'm going to fail and get hurt, and all this other stuff. So it's pretty much mind over matter. That was my biggest fight was with myself. But then I just stayed firm. I stood firm, and evidently I won life.
Wow. You You know, I used to have nightmares that I suddenly would wake up fat again.
Yeah, and I can. I still have that fear today, but you know, like somebody asked me today, you know, how do you stay so motivated? And you know, I told her, I said, look, you know, I will continue to hold myself accountable to all of you on this world because I'm a prime example for you that, you know, anything can be accomplished as long as you don't quit and you hold yourself accountable every day, because I will be that example for everyone.
That's awesome. That's perfect. Another question that came in was, I'm the typical been fat all my whole life and been on a million yo-yo diets and still nothing seems to work. What kept you motivated and how did you control your cravings?
Okay, first of all, that's because there was diet. When you go into it, you got to put in your mind, and I mean sear it with a wood burner, knowing that you're going into it with a lifestyle change. Today, I'm going to change my life forever, not tomorrow, today. So, you know, that was my biggest challenge was nutrition, because before I was obsessed with food. Well, now I'm seriously obsessed with food. You know, what it does for my body, how I feel, and because everything that I put in my body, I make sure it does nothing but benefit. I don't eat crap like iceberg lettuce that has no nutritional value at all.
Yeah. Wow. You know what? I think I would just love for you to tell us your whole story. Start with your journey. Start with what motivated you to get started in the first place. What was your pivotal moment?
I went to a doctor's appointment, and the doctor told me that I would not live to see 30, and of course, my wife and I had been trying to have kids, and he also told me that due to my obesity, that I was going to unable to have children. And so then, you know, of course, after that, you know, I mean, how does any man stand up and even be able to face his wife and come home and, you know, tell her, honey, my addiction of food, with me being selfish, my addiction of food, I will be unable to give you children. I'm unable to be this man for you. So my initial thought in my head was, I went over to the cabinet as soon as I walked in the house. I grabbed my pistol out, laid it on the table, inserted one cartridge in, and I sat down and wrote a letter to my wife to post to the front door, and told her that she would need to come in and see me. All she needed to do was call an ambulance and call the police department, because I did not want her to see me in that shape. And then all of a sudden, my phone rang as I sat down staring at my pistol. And of course, that gun still has that same cartridge in it today. My phone rang, and it was my mom. And of course, you know, like everybody else's mom, she was being nosy and wanted to know what I was doing. And so I told her I was like, well, nothing. And she's like, okay, well, I'll be up there in a minute. So little my mom knows that she actually saved my life that day, because I wouldn't be talking to you today. So I went on. Shortly after that, I went to go pay my car insurance. And of course, you know, a lot of people don't know that I actually tried out for the Biggest Loser, and I got the second call back, and of course, the in front of the camera interview. And you know, they kept on asking me questions about my weight, and questions, and I kept on bringing up my personality, shooting, and all of those safeguards, and trying to avoid answering and accepting of the fact that I was overweight. So, as I was telling Jessica, which was my insurance agent, as I was telling him this, he was like, so, you know, so you've been kind of interested in wanting to lose weight, and I was like, yeah, and he gave me a gift. With this bridge, I DVD disc. And it was the Sweat Fest 1, 2. I mean, just flat out, that was it. And of course, you know, like everybody else, I grabbed that disc, I went home, put it on my DVD player with every single intention to start it. But it laid on my DVD player for 3 months, 4 months, and collected dust, and I didn't touch it. And until one day, after binge eating on a bag of cereal, it wasn't just a box, it was a bag, I felt so horrible about myself because, you know, as if it was a struggle for me to walk up the stairs without my heart pounding out of my chest, or even lay down with so much weight on my chest I was unable to breathe and sleep at night. That wasn't enough. But the guilt overtook me, and I thought about that disc, and so I got up, I lived in this old house, and I swear to God, that this house must have been, I believe Jesus built this house. This is how old it was. So I walked over, and of course, my excuse was forever. I'm afraid to jump in the house because I'm afraid I would fall through the floor. So I walked over to the air conditioning unit because we didn't have any central heat and air. Turned it on as cold as it would go. I moved my couch out of the way. I grabbed that DVD. I put it in the DVD player, and I stood in front of the TV, and I was like, okay, let's go. Okay, I have to press play. Oh. And I thought, all right, let's go. I stood there staring at the TV with a blank expression on my face, and I see this crazy guy, you know, doing all these moves and doing push-ups and doing jumping jacks. And all. So I'm like, how in the world am I going to do this? I have no idea. And so I just started walking in place, running in place, and I sweat, and I wheeze, and I huff, and I puff until I almost blew my house down. And then all of a sudden, you know, I had this rush of feeling of emotion, and I felt so good and so happy that I had completed this. So I called Jeff. I was like, hey, dude, you know, I completed this workout. Of course, me, I was expecting a big ovation, a big pat on the back, and he said, oh, okay, do it again tomorrow. But first, I was like, are you serious? Do it again tomorrow? And he was like, yeah. And he's like, but first, go and weigh yourself, see how much you weigh, and take your before pictures. And I was like, well, I don't want to take my before pictures. You know, I don't even take my shirt off in front of my wife, so why would I even do this? So I go to Walmart, of course, and I go and buy me a brand new shiny scale, Weight Watcher scale. You know, I figured it'd be pretty accurate, and I figured at least watch my weight, but I stepped on the scale, and it read error. And I was like, okay, it must be just new. Alright, so I got off, I stepped back on, error. I got off, stepped back on, error. So then I was like, well, what am I going to do? I had no idea what. And so the next day, I was going with my brother to go take some Tim Tams at the metal scrapyard, and I just had a thought. I was like, you know what? If that scale won't weigh me, I'm sure these will. So I walked up to the guy. I asked him, I said, hey, man, is it okay if I use your scale? And he said, yeah, go ahead and bring your Tams. I was like, no, I actually need to step on it. And he was like, oh, okay. And of course, the scale had big red numbers because, you know, every redneck in my town, you know, they definitely don't want to be screwed on the metal cans for poundage. So everybody can read it. I stepped on the scale. 1 passed, 2 passed, 3 passed, 4, 26. And so as I stand there with the blank expression on my face, my whole soul just thinking what happened to me. And all of a sudden I hear in the background, you're a pretty big old boy. And so I turned around to the guy and I was like, yep, I am. And I stepped out the scale, walked in my car, and all I did was cry. I cried. Because how could I have, even though I've been obese my whole life, how could I have let myself get to this point? And so I got back home. I took my shirt off. I gave my phone to my wife, and I said, take the pictures of me now. And she snapped one, she snapped two, and then she snapped three. And then I called Jeff. I was like, hey man, I took my pictures, I found out how much I weigh. And he's like, all right. He's like, so what's your goal? And I said, I want to lose 200 pounds in 1 year. And he's like, really? Are you sure? And I was like, has anybody ever done it before? And he's like, I don't know. I don't think so. So I figured, you know, by God, if I was going to do something, I was at least going to do it with the bang. And I prayed part of that day, and I will come to tell you, I fought and I did. I worked so damn hard, and I sweat and I bled and I cried every single day. The pain in my knees, the pain in my legs, and the pain in my back. And even when I was sore, I was hungry, and I was tired, I never did stop, and I refused to stop because I was going to Fit Club twice a day. And of course, we started this Fit Club in the bonus room of this house with only 6 people. And until I found this church and they allowed us to start, and I was like, you know what, God, if I'm going to be losing weight and if I'm going to be good and healthy, I ain't going down alone. And so I'm going to carry my town with me, but I made it for free. And because I love that idea. So I kept on going, and I become more and more obsessed, and I started asking myself tough questions. Well, how can I do this, and how can I do that? Instead of reaching out to somebody, I just got on Google, and I just started just messaging and learning and researching and following my nutrition guide that we had with P90X, and following my nutrition guides with Power 90, and understanding and researching and like how can I manipulate my body to my goal. So I go down, I lost 100 pounds. All right, good. I'm halfway there, and I was 6 months into it. I'm right on schedule. And then finally, the 1 year came along, and I was shy, but I still had a little bit more left in me. So in 1 year and 15 days, I lost my first 200 pounds, and that's when I entered into the Beachbody Challenge. So after I said, see, I'm leaving out the most important part of this, because halfway in my journey, I was at work. My wife called me and told me, she said, I'm pregnant. I said, no, you're not. She said, yes, I am. And I was like, you ready? And then she sent me a picture of the test. And then I was like, I don't believe you. And she was like, I said, don't take another test. She said, I don't have one. I said, well, then go get one. And so she had us take her to the store. She went down another test, and it's been positive. So I can tell you people right now today that I am a proud father of a 1-year-old baby boy. Oh, that's great. He's the most amazing thing. He's my life. He's my soul. And this is the reason that I do everything that I do, so that way I can be the example for him and build a legacy for him. And so he can stand up when he gets old enough, he can say, that's my dad. He overcome everything for me to give me life. So now I ran the Beachbody Challenge. I became a monthly winner, but I took care of my mother-in-law who had leukemia during my journey, and I would spend 8-10 hours a day in the chemo treatment center. Then I would go to work, third shift, and then I would do my part-time job just to make ends meet, and then I become a monthly winner. And 2 days before I become a monthly winner, my mother-in-law passed away, and she made me promise to take care of my baby, to take care of her grandson, because she didn't know that she would be around. And then we went on, quarterlies came, I won quarterly, of course, that was amazing, because I had the honor to meet Carl Bagler early in my journey, and then I got to meet him again a year I keep on fighting and fighting these cravings and becoming obsessed with food, becoming obsessed with life, and becoming obsessed with helping people, because I promise my life every single day is my journey. If I can just help one person save their life, then I can go to bed and die happy. Because I know my life will be complete because I saved someone's life. So then now, the Beachbody Challenge comes up. On April 11th of last year, my son was born. And then shortly after we got him out of the hospital, then Linda went for a walk and then come home. And of course, we were fighting and digging for every single penny we had. And I got the phone call from corporate, everybody on conference call saying, "You're a finalist." And it was just, the whole energy of everybody was just astounding. And they were all cheering, and they were all, and of course I felt amazing, because I'm just like, my God, God's answered my prayers, and I'm at least guaranteed 25, that's fine, whatever. But it wasn't about money for me. It was about life, and it was about living. And so we get to Vegas, and we actually didn't pay our car insurance just to be able to have enough spending money to get to Vegas, even though Beachbody gave us spending money. We just wanted to have a good time.
Yeah.
So we stand there, and like you said, I stood on stage, and when they announced me as the Beachbody Grand Prize winner of $100,000, my whole soul and my whole life dropped, and that's why I dropped to my knees and thanked for everything, because it's because of coaches, and it's because of the Beachbody organization, of why I am, why I was on that stage, and why I had that check, because it saved my family, it saved my life, because that's why I am. I get so much love and appreciation for everybody that I come in contact with, because I will drop everything that's in my hand just to show you my love, because I owe it to you.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Richard, you're amazing. I just went back to the page to see if there are any questions. I don't see any questions so far. You guys, feel free to push star 5-star if you want to raise your hand for a question. Oh my gosh, Richard, I can't stop crying. This is incredible. You're such an inspiration. When was it you actually became a coach?
I actually became a coach early in my journey. And, Jeff has been talking to me about becoming a coach and all this stuff. And of course, me, I was wanting a Sam's Club card. And that's the funny thing. So I signed up as a coach, and I got in miscommunication to a Sam's Club card. And I was like, which I felt so good about being a coach, because what does it mean about being a coach, It means that you're a leader, and it means you're holding yourself accountable, and it means that you're standing up, because the definition of a coach is a leader, because it's somebody who you can come to. And if I was going to be a leader and help people save their lives, then why not be a coach and try to save as many lives as I could possibly do? Is there any more questions?
I don't see any questions just yet. You guys, don't be shy. Oh, there's one. I see one. Right here. I don't know who this is, but it's 314 area code. You're unmuted. 314602. Won't say the last 4 digits. Okay. That didn't work. Okay. The person who had the question, go right ahead and ask. you have the floor. Go ahead.
Hello?
You can ask the question now. You're in Seattle, 786. All right, 330-501.
Muy bien. That's about all the Spanish I know. That's how I man. I guess the thing is that with me, and the people that I talk to in my challenge groups, and people that I talk to in general, here's the thing. Here's one thing that you got to understand in your life. You've got to sit down and bow your head and understand that this is a lifestyle change. Because if you were wanting your lifestyle,
muted.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Sorry, I just clicked the button to try and make sure that everybody can talk.
Okay, I got you. Because, here's the thing. If you're wanting your life back, you've got to understand that you're going to be in your lifestyle change. Because you've got to do it for the rest of your life. It's holding yourself accountable, counting your ingredients versus counting calories. Because, see, here's the thing. What you're going to do is not only going to change your life, but it is going to change so many others. Because I can guarantee you and I can promise that I can't change the world by myself. I can promise you, I need you to help me. Because, see, obviously, there is so much hate in this world, and considering enough with what happened to Boston, and which I'm just extremely pissed off about that, because, see, I worked so hard, and I tried so hard to spread love around this world, and because I challenge people every day to reach out a hand unconditionally, to reach out to a total stranger, and to say, you know what, you're awesome. Because you don't know what that's going to do for that person when you reach out to them. You don't know if they're like me and thinking in their mind that they're about to go home and put a bullet in their head. You don't know if they're going to take a knife to their wrist. Because I can guarantee you there's enough hate in this world to go around. What we need is more love and more unconditional love. And so being a coach and being a customer and being a normal human being and not blowing people up is not love. Because maybe that person just didn't get told, maybe their mommy or maybe their daddy didn't have enough love for them when they were a kid. That's our job to stand up and share that. And the way we can start is not just obesity. Because obesity is a huge problem right now. Because everybody is dying. Our children are dying. Because we are feeding them. The companies are feeding them. Everybody in this whole damn nation is feeding them crap. It's your fault and it's my fault, and we need to be accountable for exactly what we're doing in this life. Because I can guarantee you that once you do hold yourself accountable, other people are watching. Because you are the example. So it's time to stand up and be the example and say, you know what? No more. That's why I share my e-cookbook. That's why I share all my shirts on my site. And that's why I share my videos and my love on everything. Because I do not, and I'm not going to sleep at night until I know I at least impacted one person's life today. I was sitting in a McDonald's. Hell yes, I said a McDonald's. Because I like to sit in that theater and watch people. And today I approached the lady and I said, you know what? I said, yes, I told you, if you were to pick a healthier option, I said, I will pay for it for you. I said, would you be interested? And she was like, why is that? I said, I just want to help you save your life. And she just started crying.
Aww.
She just started crying and crying because this total stranger walked up to her and said, you know what, I love you. You are awesome. We need this more. So please, you don't think you can impact people's lives? I can promise you, and I can guarantee you, you can. You do have that power to change someone's life. So please, whatever you take from this, take away love. And I want you to make a post on Facebook today and share love. You don't have to talk me up, but I want you to tag me in every single post that you make tonight. Because we need help. I need help. We all are on this fight and in this journey together. It's time to stand together as Beachbody coaches, as human beings, and as the world to help in the trend of obesity and to help end this world of hate.
I agree, 1,000%. I've got questions on the page. The most pervasive question was, lots of people are asking how to get rid of the loose skin after weight loss.
It's actually, with the loose skin, I still struggle with mine from time to time, but, it's all in good nutrition. If you stay and you eat clean and you eat the right foods and you, eating, there's many things that I do. I soak in baths, I wet my body with lotion, and also I eat very, very rich nutritional food like spinach, broccoli, cauliflower. Coconut oil is amazing. Coconut. Yes, I know you may be saying, well, that's high and fat. Well, everything is okay in good limitation. Too much of something is bad.
Okay, that's what I would say too. That's number one problem I've noticed with most people. Here we got another question that says, how do you get past a spouse not supporting you and your health and fitness business?
That's a very good question. How do you get past that? Here's the thing. When you're going through your lifestyle change, and you're talking to your spouse, and all you need is support and love, and they're not giving you that to you, the best honest opinion I could possibly give you is communication. Communication is amazing, but always understand that, just because your spouse is not on board doesn't mean you have to quit, and doesn't mean you have to back down. It just means that you can hopefully...
Conference muted. Sorry.
It's fine.
I'm trying to make sure there's no feedback.
I got you. Hopefully you can be an example for your spouse, and if not, just keep communication up and let them know how much you love them, because that's the reason you're doing what you're doing, because you can't make them want to change. I had a good friend of mine that I practically worked with. He lived less than a mile from me. I tried everything I could possibly do to try to, help them change. And, it's for some people, it's for some people, but it's not for some people, because I want you to understand that you can't make someone change their own life. You can only plant a seed in their soul and say, you know what, when you're ready for help, I'm here to help. This door will never close. If you fail, I'm sorry, but this door will never close. And that's the same thing with your spouse. And just let them know that you love them every day.
I love that. Here's another question. Did you ever hit a plateau? And if so, how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I did hit a plateau at one time. I overcame it by, before there were challenge groups, I was in a challenge group. I had my coach, his wife, and I had my good friend Ken Duke, and all kinds of other people that were supporting me throughout my journey, like Tommy Migrant, Mike French, a lot of people. So I would just ask questions, I would reach out to them. So when I overcame it, I was just like, well, I actually had to start eating more, and I actually had to start adding in some carbohydrates from time to time, and then I would cut them off at a specific time. So where PIDS runs off of body confusion, okay, so why can't nutrition be the same way? Do nutrition confusion. And it will jolt your body back into key.
What do you mean by that?
Well, for instance, one day, if you've been running on low carbs for a while, then, or you've been running low on calories, going back to your nutrition calculator and saying, okay, I weigh this much, how much, exactly do I need? Okay, well, like, for instance, I tried, one time I done carb loading, and I high amount of carbs in the morning, and then the next day I had no carbs, just kind of confusing my body. One day I would, when I was set to eat like 2,000 calories, I jumped up and I ate like 2,300 calories, and then went right back down to 2,000 calories, just to kind of confuse my body and kick it into overdrive. There was a few things that I tried, but it's always good to stick with, if you're a club member, they can actually do your meal plans for you. You have a calorie calculator in your Beachbody account, and you can always calculate or go to your coach for advice. And if you don't have a coach, then find a coach, because I'm sure there's plenty out there that would be more than willing to help.
That's very true. And if somebody sends you to this call and you don't know me, that's perfectly fine. I can give you a recording of the call as well. And please let me know who sent you to the call so I can include both of you in the message for the recording of the call. Now, because I encourage you, stick with your coach like glue. Stick with them like glue. They've been there. They've done that. They really understand. Here's another question. Oh, sorry.
Well, I was going to say, but if your coach doesn't contact you back, please, be persistent with them and try to contact them. If they don't contact you, try to move offline and find somebody else and just say, hey, my coach isn't wanting to help me, so I need help.
Absolutely.
It's that coach's responsibility to track that other coach down and try to find an answer.
That really helps a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you. Here is another question. How will a person with a large transformation connect with people who have a lot of weight to lose? This person says she feels that they don't think that she understands them.
Just a phone conference thing.
Yeah. It's connecting with people. If you already have a coach and you don't feel that they understand you, then it's that coach's responsibility to connect you with people that can relate, connect you with stories that will relate to you. You can go on my website, richardnealfitness.com, and
okay.
just contact, and you can email me, and I promise I'll get to your emails and messages as soon as possible.
And make sure that you have a flow
that's because that's what I'm there for. I'll try to utilize that as much as possible.
Now, if maybe can you tell us what is it you think that somebody should say? I know myself, I just show my other pictures because people nowadays think that I've always been thin, but that was not true. But somebody who has been thin, how would they communicate to somebody that they're still there to help, that they can still identify with health problems, and how would you suggest they communicate with those people?
The best way, if you're trying to communicate with them, understand that they are a person, that they are just not, psychology just doesn't cure depression. It cures a hell of a whole lot of things, but that person needs a certain assistance and help in life and comfort and knowing that, we're on this journey together. I can relate with you and I can connect you with people, but I want you to understand that, I'm going to be in this with you for the long haul. So I acknowledge, and I will try to use every single tool that I have in my Beachbody arsenal to help you meet and exceed every single goal that you have in life.
Here's one that makes me want to cry. It says, how do I make myself care?
Oh my God. Holy hell, that's going to make me cry.
I know.
How do you make yourself care? I want you to just sit down, or you can stand up right now and look at yourself in the mirror. And I want you to tell yourself that you are an amazing and beautiful person. you do care about your life and that people in this world do care about you because you were linked into the best community ever. So look at yourself and tell yourself that you are beautiful, that you do want your life back, and that you are going to help yourself. But today is the time that you are going to start. Not later, not tomorrow, not next week, not next Monday, today, right now. Because you can press play and get your butt up and save your life, because I can promise you the feelings and the emotions that you have in your life will overcome everything. Because a good friend, Ashley Myers, she told me one time, she said, you know what? She's like, I tell people you just need to get those feelings up, crumble them up, roll down your window and just push them out. You can't see them, but you can feel them. So wrap them up and push them out of your window. So because today is the day that you're going to start and save your life the rest of your life. And you will save so many others ahead of time because you have that in your soul. You have that seed. So let the tree grow.
Thank you. That's good advice. I see somebody here asked, what do you tell those who say they can't afford Shakeology in a program?
How many times are you going out to eat? It's the thing. Everybody has a budget. What's your budget? What's your food budget? If you count that in your budget, say, what? My Shakeology is going to be X amount every single month. Home delivery, same thing. Okay, I'm going to eat that for breakfast every single day. But guess what? I can mark breakfast off. So what else do I have left for all my food budgets for lunch, dinner, and snacks? Because I can guarantee you find a way to spend that money to go out to eat. I know you can save your life and find a way to pay for that Shakeology because it will save your life.
And if you guys need help on budgeting, message me. I will definitely try and help you out. I know I've been in on a budget. I have a daughter. My husband and I have a daughter in college, and college is expensive. So just let us know. We'll help you out that way. Let me see. I'm going back and forth from the Facebook page too. I'm seeing people post about what you're saying, Richard. They're all tearing up. Okay, let me see. I am unmuting a 503 area code. 503-422.
I think that's me. Hello?
Yep, that's you.
Alright, so I just have to say, number one, I'm not an emotional guy, but you've been cheered like 3 times already. Hey, let it out, my man. Let it out. Thank you. I love you. It's amazing.
Even I were just...
Take a drink of water here.
We're all sniffling, Richard. It's allergies. It's just allergies.
Drink one. So, I guess I kind of have multiple questions, but I'll kind of try to bag it into one. I'm where you were, and sorry, I'm here for you, my man. I'm trying to get where and I'm trying to get where you are. So, try to compose myself so I can make a coherent sentence here. If I have a Beachbody coach, and she's great. Because I've done a couple of different challenge groups that have ended up dropping out for my own stupid reasons, I guess, is what I'll attribute it to. But I've been talking with her about becoming a Beachbody coach. So kind of in the vein of what you did, being as big as I am, and being as where you were when you became a coach, number one, how did you get people to even buy into anything that you had to say as a coach when, you had such a hard time yourself? And then, I think it's that question of, how do you make yourself care? Let me tell you something on that. When you're a coach, what does it mean? You need to lead by example by every single person that you come in contact with, whether they're on your team or not. You've got to hold yourself accountable to every single person. And that's when you stand up and you do your workout and say, by God, I'm going to do my workout today. I'm going to sweat. I'm going to post my sweaty picture as soon as I get onto the world, because if I'm doing it, I'm going to share and share and share. And then if someone asks me, what are you doing? Then guess what? I invite you with my journey. I invite you into my life. But until then, you've got to be the product of the product, and you've got to stand up and be proof that this stuff really works and it really saves life, because it is saving your life. You've got to understand, my man, that this is your life, because if you give in to those weaknesses, I can promise you, if you give in to those weaknesses, you gotta understand that you will die if that doesn't happen. So if that does happen, if you give in. So I want you to tell yourself, if you feel a moment of weakness, I want you to reach out to somebody immediately. Because I remember one day when I almost had a weakness, I was wanting ice cream. I reached out to my coach and I told him, I said, man, I'm really wanting this ice cream right now. He said, no. That's all it took was a no. And then tell yourself, if I eat this, I'm going to die. If I don't work out today, I'm going to die. If I don't feel like getting up out of this bed and I just continue to lay here, I'm going to die. So you have got to be accountable for everything that you do and share your life, and do not quit and do not give up, because I can promise you, my man, this today is going to be the day that you will remember for the rest of your life, because today you are going to choose that you are going to save your life, and you are not going to stop, and you are not going to fret. Because I swear on my life, and I swear to God, and as I pray to God, that you will, my man, succeed in everything that you choose, and people will follow. But you've got to make that choice for your life, and make that lifestyle choice, not a diet. Diets are temporary.
True, and to the speaker I see on the page, you don't have to compose yourself. We're all crying, and we're all here for you. You just, reach out to anybody on this page. This page won't go away after tonight. We'll still be there. I'll have everybody support you.
I can promise you I'll be here past 30, because I'm turning 29 this year.
Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love you, my man.
Okay, I have a question on the page that is, how can you talk to people about this program without offending them, without hurting them? I always thought I was a freak for caring about everyone. I have problems approaching people. I'm afraid of hurting or offending them.
Hey, I'm a freak just like you. Here's the thing. You don't have to sit there and say, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach. I want to say, do all right today. No, you don't have to do that. You can just really be a human being and say, walk up there and say, hey, how's your day been going? And then they're like, well, it's going good. And they look at you like you're a complete freak. And so, it's sunshine outside. It's feeling amazing, don't you think? And hey, I'm Richard. What's your name? Well, I'm Sam. Okay, well, Sam, that's awesome, my man. Are you from here? No. Oh, okay, cool. So, do you have any kids? You married? I mean, I've got a kid myself. He's one, and oh man, sure. Check out a picture of me. He's amazing. And so, are you on Facebook? Yeah. Oh, sweet. I would love to friend you. And then and say, what's your name on Facebook? Let me go ahead and friend you. And then, well, if I can't find your name, then do you have an email address I can search it by? Because I'd really like to stay in contact with you. And then that's when, hey, it was awesome. You follow up with me. It's awesome running to you at the grocery store the other day. I just want to share some information with you. It's awesome you being my friend, and I can't wait to know more about you. And then as you post about these Shakeology, as you post about helping people, and as you post about your passion and all these posts, because I can guarantee you, and you reach out from time to time, you say, hey, how's it going? And they'll get curious, and then say, hey, if you're interested, I've got a challenge group going on. I would love to invite you to if that's something that you're into. And then they'll go on from there.
That's good advice. Let me make sure I'm getting a lot of people asking me if I can see them if their hands are raised. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm unmuting 330-501.
Hey, Neal. What's up, my man? How's it going? Chicken.
Hey, man. I've been on this story for a while now, and I actually just won one of the recent contests and dropped in the past year 93 pounds. And I'm a coach and everything now with a great team, and I mean, I just, with your story too, and I got my own going from rock bottom and a dead end road and nothing going for me to changing my life around. And at least, I want to know, like, you doing like big clubs, or like currently, what are you doing to like keep at it, besides
what am I doing now? Just keep myself motivated?
Like helping to more so inspire others.
Well, right now, my man, I mean, I just got back from Houston, Texas, from a Super Saturday. I mean, I do calls, I post on my Facebook, I do go and join the fit clubs in my area, but since I'm traveling so much, I'm getting ready to go to Boston next week to an amazing event that Miss Lauren is putting on. I love her. It's about sharing. So with me personally, I've been traveling around. But it's the post on Facebook that you put, because you don't know who exactly you're talking to, and you don't know how exactly you're going to share, because anything that you post or anything that you share, if you start fit clubs or whatever the case may be, it's just however you can create a contact using social media, traveling. I love speaking, and that's why I've been doing what I'm doing. I like going around and speaking on calls, public speaking, motivational speaking. I'm going to Georgia next week to go and speak to potential middle schoolers and high schoolers. And so whatever I can do to try to end the trend of obesity and try to create some type of positive change in this world to put my thumbprint on, then that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to die trying.
Oh, that's great, man. Yeah, I was just at Super Saturday too, and just pretty much taking everything as it goes and just trying to reach out to as many people as you can, right? Because especially, people that surround you know what you've been through, but, I've just from the contest having people email me and message me saying they want to use me as inspiration and motivation, just like overwhelming, almost like, man, I can't believe I've even done this, it seems surreal.
I'll tell you what, how about you shoot me a message on Facebook, and I would love to help you more. Okay?
Yeah, no problem, buddy. I appreciate it.
I'll do anything I can to help you out, my man. Just shoot me a message, and we'll get on the phone and chat sometime.
Will do, buddy.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm moving on to caller whose area code is 314602. I've unmuted you.
Hi, Richard. Sorry, I have to kind of compose myself. My name's Kara.
I'm Miss Kara.
I started my journey. I'm sorry.
How are you doing, beautiful?
I'm doing okay. I started my journey 3 months ago, and when I started at 243 pounds, and that for the last 7 or 8 years, I was had a lot of medical problems. I had 8 surgeries in the 7 years. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and quite a few other things as well. And I just wanted to tell you, I mean, just a month on Shakeology, I've stopped 4 medicines, and I can run around and I can play with my kids. I couldn't do that before. And just hearing you tonight, like, inspires me just to keep going. I've lost 45 pounds in 3 months, and I'm working really hard. And I'm just curious, like, before you started this, like, did you have medical conditions that got better?
Oh, yeah. I had crazy high blood pressure. I was pre-diabetic. Of course, I had, like, mysterious, like, stomach issues, acid reflux and stuff like that. And of course, I had, like, horrible skin. I had bumps and rashes and all kinds of other stuff that come up, hernias and all kinds of stuff. And then as I got stronger and as I got more motivated, everything just kind of started, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, started just going down one after another. And I'm so damn proud of you for taking your life back, but just don't quit and don't stop, because I can promise you, if you stand firm, you will win life.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And just know that you're an amazing inspiration to me. I can't stop crying during this call, so thank you.
I love you, girl.
Love you.
Okay, I'm needing another call. I feel so good. Call made me feel so happy. Caller 505-377. Hi. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Thank you. I had so much. Yes, I currently started March 4th. I went to the doctors because you were saying about a rash and stuff. And so I went to the doctors and a dermatologist, and they couldn't figure out what was going on with me. And like my family members would always say, eczema and everything. So I figured it was because I wasn't able to take care of myself.
Okay. I love you.
My grandchildren support me. I have people in church. I have people, I'm surrounded by amazing people on Facebook and my physical life here. And, you were talking about looking in the mirror and stuff. And I look in the mirror all the time, and I always say, Lord, you're so worth it. But when I get, and I'm with my kids, I take care of my grandchildren. And when I'm by myself, and I start to feel alone, and, people can quote scriptures, I can quote scriptures, I read the Bible, I sit, I talk, I pray, I sing, I do everything, and it's just, I was abused by my dad, not as far as sexually and stuff, but mentally. And he passed away in November. And, you go through the anger and all the hurt and stuff, and you're just like, I'm true now. He doesn't have that control over me because I was never good enough for him. Everything I did, I go to school, he's like, oh, you're not going to finish. And I didn't. And I do something for my kids, and he's like, he's not going to do well, and now my son's in prison. And, my daughter joins the military and stuff, and he's like, oh, she's going to be like you. She just wants to put responsibility on someone else. Those are her kids. She needs to take care of them. And everything I did, he was just negative towards me. And I try to separate myself from him, and I couldn't because, that's my daddy. And I don't know. Because I adore my children and my grandchildren, and my grandson is 9, and I'm taking care of him through 3 deployments for my daughter. She's married now, but before she was a single mom. And so I took care of my grandson, and I have a granddaughter now. She's 2. So my grandson, he's 9, and he's a football and touch kimbo and soccer and everything. He just tells me, he's like, you know, he's modified, like the exercise that he does in football. And he just tells me, he's like, Grandma, I believe in you. Do you believe in me? And I was like, yes, I do. So I have to be outside because I can't, I don't want my kids to see me hurting.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me tell you something right now. You're on this call. You're an amazing and most beautiful person in the world, and I want to thank you for sharing your story and thank you for sharing your life with us. Because I can promise you, if you, every day that you continue to press play, and every day you continue to be a leader for your grandchildren and your children, no matter what, you only have control for yourself, and your control, that if you change yourself, you do have the right to change the world. You have the right to be an example for everybody that you come in contact with. You can't change everybody. You can't change the past. Because I can promise you, with the past that I've been through, I understand. You can't change the past. All you have to say, you know what, that past has made me who I am today. I may be alone in my thoughts. I may be alone in my head. But understand that there are so many people out there, whether it be church, Facebook, even people that you don't even know, love you so much right now and want you to be in this world, because with you, this world cannot function. So please, continue every day to press play. Continue to hold yourself accountable and continue. If you need help, do not hesitate to reach out for help, because there's a whole team and there's a whole world out here that will die for you just to save your life. Because I can promise you, I am one of those people. Because that past does not have to define who you are. It's what you take yourself from today and the future that you make upon it, and the example that you put for yourself, for the people in your life. So do not stop, do not quit, continue to live your life, and stick your hands up in the air and praise to the Lord that He is there with you, because I can promise you He's there in the darkest time. You just have to search for the light and beg.
Please reach out to us. I'm Carla, and I'm just going to post right in here. Please reach out to me. I've experienced many of the same things you have. Very difficult time with my father as well. Probably contributed to most of my weight gains. But you know, they're wrong. They're just wrong. You're worth it. Okay?
Because just like I said, my daddy, he passed in November. And one time, because I'm 400 and 450, and one time I had lost 20 pounds, and I told my dad, and I was away from him for a year because my daughter deployed, and I told him I lost 20 pounds and stuff, and my granddaughter called him on accident, and he was talking to my sisters and my stepmom, and they were like, did you talk to Flo? And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, she said she lost 20 pounds, but I bet you she gained 40. She's probably still sitting around at night, sounding like an effing rat, eating candy and chips and stuff.
So you're on Facebook, right?
privately, okay?
I have to talk with you privately.
Yes.
It was just,
I mean, I understand. My dad used to grab me by the thigh and shake and tell me how worthless I was. So I understand where you're coming from, but truly, you are a blessing to this world. Please listen. Please believe us. Please reach out to us. We want to talk to you privately. Okay? Remember, people love you. Okay? I'm heading to another question right now. And this is going to, I think this is going to be the last one.
okay.
All right, 856217. Hi, who you are. Hi, Richard.
How are you?
How are you?
Does anybody really know what to do with myself right now?
Okay, I was somebody who was exercising every single day without a day off for 11 years. Okay? Very obsessive with it, and it was actually something I was extremely proud of, because no matter what happened in my life, I made sure that I worked out, and I was really, proud of myself for doing that. And then in October, I found out my husband was cheating on me, and it was the first day I took off in 11 years. Since then, I have skipped many days, and I have always been a very powerful motivator. I pick everybody up when they're down, and now everybody has to pick me up, because I have these awful days where I don't even want to be alive someday. It's been extremely difficult these past 6 months, and every time I'm happy, 2 minutes later I can be sad again, and exercising was something that was my favorite thing to do. However, it was used against me because cheated on, or when he called the girl that he was cheating on me with, he did it while I was exercising, and now it's hard to not relate exercising to that. I wanted to know if you had any advice for somebody like me who's just looking to be motivated again so I can continue to help people that I coach.
I'll tell you what, here's the thing, you shouldn't feel guilty whatsoever for wanting to take care of yourself, your mind, and your body. For one, because if your spouse was not on board and he decided to go and seek comfort elsewhere, you know what? Honestly, I really do believe God was doing you a favor, because you didn't need that in your life anyways, because you're an amazing person, and you need to tell yourself that on a regular basis, because when I find myself in times of struggle, the first thing that I do is I actually do work out. I try to push it out and bring all that pain in, and I turn on my music, and I sit there and push myself as hard as I can until I'm on my knees begging and crying, just wanting the pain to go away. But the example that you set for others is understanding with the example that you're setting for yourself, because as long as you don't back down and you don't let those demons tackle you, and you stand up and you tell them, you know what, I am good enough. I am a beautiful person. I do take care of my body. I do take care of my life. So today is the final day that I am going to ever succumb to your battles, even when I'm alone to myself and I want to take my life, because my life is so much more better than that. Because even if I want to take my life, guess what? There's another life that you can save, and that you relate with you so much. Because just think of how many people out there are going through the same exact thing that you were going through. Doing the same exact thing because your spouse is not on board, and they want to go and seek comfort elsewhere because they can't relate with you. They don't know. They're not drinking from the fountain of youth and going to the same fountain where you're going to. So, you know what? You don't feel like a bad person for trying to save other people's life at all, because that just does nothing but piss me off even more. People thinking that, they're trying to save other people's lives. You know what? You're more concerned about helping other people than you are about other people's lives. No, you shouldn't feel bad about changing the world in your own way. And you are setting the example for every single person that you come in contact with. So getting through these struggles and getting through these pains, you are setting the example. You are the example. And I want you to understand and tell yourself every day that you are not going to let those chains drag you down. I want you to tell yourself that today is the final day that will ever happen. You need to press play every day. You need to go to the gym every day. Whatever it is that you're passionate about doing, continue to do it because it will lift you up. I can't tell you how many people are probably on this call right now and saying, you know what, I relate to you. I'm going through the same damn thing. I'm so damn proud of you for standing up and admitting that. So you are saving people's lives right now. So today, I want you to hold yourself accountable to every single person on this phone call that you are not going to stop and that you are going to take your life back from him because he doesn't run you anymore. You are accountable to yourself and keep it that way.
You're right. I know you're right. I know you're right. You know, I've seen you in Disney, and you gave me the best hug that I had had in years. And I remember thinking about it all night. I'm like, wow, I've not been touched like that in years. Thank you for that because you made me feel alive again. You just have no idea.
If you had only an idea how alive you made me feel. You know,
Thank you.
Exactly who you are, but you made me feel alive because that Disney trip changed my life forever.
Carla, do me a favor. Can you give this man my phone number? You know me. Me and Richard are hooking up. Thank you, Richard. Thank you. Okay, 360. Did I miss your question? 360-808. That's me. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. But I'm sorry. I must have missed somebody's question. I'm so sorry. Well, I actually don't have a question. I just wanted to say something momentarily. I just wanted to tell everybody on this call that all your stories, I've been crying, and you are all so beautiful, and you just need to know that. I want everybody to know, every single person that can hear me right now, I want you to put your arms around yourself and know that I am giving you the biggest hug in the entire world. Yes! You all are awesome, and you will come to find that in your own way. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
I love you. Thank you.
Well, that was our last question or comment. I like that ended it beautifully.
Oh, amazing.
Thank you so much, Richard. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk anymore.
Sarah, can you just make this recording open to the world?
I will. I'm going to actually post it in just a couple of minutes in that call. And please, you guys, go ahead and message me and let me know that you want the recording. I can actually make it available all the time, constantly on my page. And you guys can grab it and just grab the link and give it to the world. I mean, the world needs this. You've seen how much passion and how much love there was in this call tonight. If there's that much love in the world, things that happen in Boston won't happen anymore.
Yes, amen. And I want every single one of you on this call to tag me in a post. You don't have to boast me up because trust me, I got enough ego as it is because my head can barely fit through a door. But I want you to take away whatever you took away from this phone call, tag me in it, and I want you to tell a story about what you took away from this phone call. Reach down in your soul, reach down in your heart, and share it to the world.
Thank you, Richard. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I have to thank everybody who is on the call, who has shared their stories. You guys, everybody is requesting to become friends with each other, so please take a look at that page and friend request each other. The last caller, the caller just before Angela's was the caller whose husband cheated on her, but the caller about the father, please friend request people. They're all asking for your friend request.
Yes. I love you.
Thank you. I love you too. And thank you, everybody. Good night. Have a wonderful evening.
Sleep tight, bye at the bed, bye.
Yes. All right, you too. Good night.